Hey everybody, this is Alex Merced from alexmercedcoder.com, and Gatsby is finished downloading, or installing. So let's first spin up our server. So we just type in Gatsby develop, because that takes a while for that server to spin up. So while it does that, we're gonna walk down, because basically right out of the gate it should already have support for Markdown. Okay, if you take a look right here in the default template, right here we see a couple plugins that are already installed. Gatsby plugin React Helmet has something to do with React, but more importantly, we see and notice like it's an array. So basically, this is the first array. It's just saying, hey, Helmet's in there, comma, but then it passes in as object as a second element of the array because there's some configurations to set. So the plugin is Gatsby source file system, which is actually going to use multiple times. But we're going to say, hey, you know what? Look for images. Those are the type of files to look for. Look for it in source, but in the images folder. So it's going to look specifically for images in that folder. And here, it's specifically going to look for Markdown in a file called source pages md. Okay, so we just have to create that directory and put our Markdown there. Gatsby Markdown blogs, source pages, and then we just have to create a folder, new folder called md. Okay. And then let's just create a Markdown folder in there, or a Markdown file in there. And just to also want to point out this plugin here, Gatsby Transformer Remark. So while the source will say, okay, here the Markdown files are here, it's Gatsby Transformer Remark that actually reads the Markdown files and transforms it into usable data. So now when we make this Markdown file, so we'll say new file, hello world.md. Okay, first we want to do is just create some like little dashes over here. This is what's called our front matter. So 3 dashes, 3 dashes. And here we'll actually be able to put data we want to use. So maybe like blog, we'll say title, hello world. And then I want to put that in quotation marks. And I'll just leave it at that for now. And then here I can actually do the blog post. So we'll make it, if you don't know what Markdown is, look up Markdown, it'll teach you all the tags. So like if I want to do a title, it's just a little pound sign. Say hello world. And then I just type in down here, this is a Markdown blog post. Cool. Then I save that. And let's go visit our page in the browser. So let me go actually bring over my browser into this screen. Boop, 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 boop. That's going to be served on localhost 6000 or 8000. Localhost 8000. Cool. Did I do that right? Let's see here. Let's go back to here. Oh, error. Let's see here. I gotta fix something. Let's see here. As said, start development watching. Error. Can only be run properly. Run for a Gatsby site. Either the current working directory does not contain a directory in my in. Oh, I didn't CD into the directory for the actual project. That would make a difference. CD Markdown blog. Now we want to type in Gatsby develop. Okay, we'll let that do its thing. But then what's going to pop up is basically the template page. So that'll be working. But mainly the other cool thing we want to show you is like how do we pull in the information from this Markdown? We have to do GraphQL queries. And we need to figure out how to do that. Now they don't just the great thing is that there's a little tool to help you figure out what the right query is and make sure you have the right information. So, you know, even if you don't know GraphQL per se, this will make life a lot easier because you'll be able to just kind of construct your queries and see your queries live. So when that loads up, we'll load that up in there. So it's building it all out. It's doing its thing. It's doing its thing. Okie dokie. And then technically it'll take us to this index.js. And the cool thing here is that like basically everything here works like if you were doing it in Next.js. So you don't have to worry about like bringing in things like React Router and all that stuff, because things like link are already kind of built in. So it works just like the way it does in Next.js or React Router. So you'll be able to just kind of do links and routing right at the get-go without having to really worry about all the boilerplate you would have to do with React Router. So that's pretty nice as well. Okay, I think, well, still working on that. Let's see, anything else that's pretty cool about this? There's just a second page, just to show you how the whole linking thing works. Okay. Now notice like this layout tag. That's there for a purpose, so that we can kind of set up like a template, and it mixes in with your, because basically what it is you are entering everything in between those layout tags, ends up putting it in between your layout CSS, or not layout CSS, layout.js. So if you want to put like a template for your page, you would just do it here. Here you set up the whole page, and here's an example of like what we're going to end up doing. So if we need to bring in data into a particular component, you always have to do a const data, use static query, GraphQL, and then you put the GraphQL query in there. But the thing we need to figure out is, how do we do that? Okay, I think now it's going, so let's go over to over here, refresh. And there we go, we got our static, and then again, I can click, go to the 2 pages. That's using that little link tag you saw a second ago. But even cooler is that whole GraphQL thing. So let's go bring that up. So the tool is going to be located at this URL. So it's like underscore, I think it's 2 underscores GraphQL. And then it brings up this. So you actually, it's like a SQL Explorer. So see, it has this initial default query, which just basically says all markdown remark nodes. But notice there's no data coming up here. So we'll go here and we can just explore. So we're going to say, like, let's say all files. Then we just kind of explore till we find like the what we want. All remark, all site page plugin. It takes a while to get used to this. Basically, just keep digging around until you find the exact information that you're looking for. You'll see it because it'll show up over here. And once you do that, so let's actually just clear this whole query. Okay. All site, all directory, all files. Let's go to files. And do I have markdown as an option here? Or remark? It's just to kind of keep experimenting and drilling down. After a while, you kind of get used to it, but it's been a while since I've done this. Let's see here, polyfill site metadata, but I'm not sure if the remark plugin is showing up here. Interesting. Cool. But you guys get the idea. So play around with this. I'm going to start up the next video in a second, and we'll drill into this even deeper.